Okay, so I have a question for Magita. What is the best way forward to save the assets for the characters? Should we save it in Postgres or should we save it in the client?
You save the assets with the code, and then you save the positioning and the choice of the assets on Postgres.
Okay, so we're gonna do the assets on the client and the references on Postgres.
Yeah, like what the characters we were. What the character is wearing, for example, that goes on Postgres.
Okay, could
That's
you
the
make a
state.
table for me that saves the maybe the names of the assets?
Mm, the names of the assets. Like, what would we have? Like,
Yeah.
armor, this kind of stuff.
No. That's a future feature. What I'm talking about is we're gonna have, I don't know, maybe 20, for at least for now, fixed 20 fixed character images. Right now we only have the teapot.
Oh, right. The teapot is a character. I forgot
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, yeah. And then I was talking to Marinho that in order to make this not take an ear, we're gonna have to make the armor and the gloves and the shoes. They will be on the character, but they're not gonna be displayed in the image of when you're moving your character around. At least for now. They will only change your attributes, like your endurance. To I don't know, you are
So wait,
stronger.
I don't follow what I have to store now then.
You have to store the file path of the assets, as far as I'm concerned.
Why?
Well, because if let's suppose that I'm retrieving your characters, and one of them is a teapot, is the one that you made with the teapot image. How am I gonna know that this character is supposed to be displayed in the selection, the character
I can
selection with
save the
this?
name. I can save the name of the file, and then you make a regex and where you expect them to be, and then you get the
That
correct
works.
exit.
That
That's it.
works. That totally works.
But I don't follow like what we would store in a table, like just assets table. That sounds a little
No,
weird.
no, no. Remember the characters table? The
Yes.
character. So you have something like username, name, email.
Mhm.
I remember something like that.
Yeah.
We will also have the base, I don't know, base image, base character image maybe.
Oh, so you want to store a whole image
No,
of
no,
the,
that's what I asked in the
not
beginning.
necessarily
Should
on the
we?
database. I got it. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking here, like the problem of this is, what if you change your hat, let's say, then the base character image is not the same. You see, like it's kind of a hacky, crappy solution
Okay,
to
I'm gonna.
be.
I think there is some confusion because you said the hat. So there are two different things about the character's appearance that I want to talk about. So there is the base image, which is the one that you select, the one you select in character creation. And there is like modifiers, which is like armor, gloves,
So you want to have a
shoes.
generic template for the character.
Yes, yes, I
So
want to have
why,
this.
so why store it then?
No, I don't. I'm not gonna start the image. I'm gonna start only the reference because then I can do the
No, I
string
got it. But
concatenation.
why store this template, this character base character thingy then?
Wait, how could I not store it? What do you propose?
Like, why should you store it? Isn't it just load the file?
Yeah, but I need to know which file. I'm gonna have many images in this assets folder.
I'll say want to make the user select a plethora of these templates.
Yeah, it's gonna have like 20 options that I'm gonna generate later.
Oh man, that's a heck of a lot. I still think it would be better to do in pieces, like and then you compose in the UI with the graphics, right? Because
Okay, but do you see? Do you have any notion of the magnitude of what you're asking me to do?
I don't think it will be hard for you to just put a teapot as a template for now, while we do the backend machinery for covering like skin tone,
No, yeah, but
hair.
yeah, no, that's fine. But I think I want you to be, well, I want to be honest with you that my understanding is that you were asking me to create a character skeleton, and
I
then we're
don't know
gonna
what you
fulfill
mean
the
by
parts.
skeleton.
That's a bit too involved. I think what Magget was proposing is okay. have some pieces. We just layer them together, and that's your character.
Yeah, but
Yes.
how that's gonna look on the screen?
So what I'm saying here, the bottom line, instead of discussing this implementation specific, and the bottom line is the thing you should actually store in the database is the options the user selected. There's no way because that's the state. So
That's
I
true.
chose blue eyes, I chose yellow hair, and I chose blue skin. I don't know.
Sure.
So like if you have those, you are probably a vampire. But anyway,
Well, no, you're
so
actually a Smurf.
a Smurf, yeah, exactly. Vampire would should be white, right? Just white.
Yeah.
Uh, so to me, it would make sense for you to store those options, and then you know what those options map to the disk prehanded beforehand, or you just render the graphics because the strategy on how you're gonna render these things on the screen should not matter for the
Okay,
database. That's just
yeah,
part of the
you're right. I
state.
was mistaken. I can completely not do the correct rendering for now because it's a lot of work. But
Yeah, you
we
can
should
just put
store
the
it correctly.
teapot.
Yeah.
Yes, but we can put the teapot, right? But I don't see why that should be still mapped all the way down.
Okay,
Like
so
I think it's just because you wanted a variety, maybe, right?
yeah, I'm gonna ask some random generated thing to generate 20-ish images, different images.
Okay.
And then when we are moving the character, instead of having a square moving, we're gonna have an image moving. That was my
But
initial
if it's
idea.
just for but if it's just for testing, I don't see the problem with a square.
No, yeah, it's just because to be a little bit more interesting. Because right now we only have squares. We have actually most of what we have are squares.
All
By
these
the way,
squares
one
make a
thing that would look
circle.
good was it. Uh,
Okay, but now we need to think then. What are the spots, right? Because I don't know about the games that you guys played, but usually I pressed the key I to bring the inventory, and then it shows on the right side. It shows the slots. So you have the helmet, you have the armor, you have the gloves, you have the pants, and you have the whatever the medieval term for shoes that I keep forgetting. Boots.
that's not a medieval term for
No, no,
shoes,
yeah, but
but
to me, like when I think about a medieval game, I need to remember those terms. That's fair. So what else? So are we talking about making a table with helmet, chest, gloves, pants, and boots, and weapon?
by the way, check this game out. Imagine it's 1980 something. You just got a ColecoVision, and then you're playing this on your TV,
Let me check.
and it's awesome.
It's awesome, you say.
Yeah, you become a werewolf basically.
Wow, that jump is really floaty.
Well, man, it's
What
the other options of consoles at the time was like Atari.
what
So
the
just
fuck?
think
That was
about
a
that.
metamorphosis. I was so confused.
Ah, yeah, you become a werewolf.
Yeah, that animation was kind of weird. Okay, I see, I see, I see. Okay, so let's make let's list what else aside from those things we need to have on a character.
Helmet, uh, chest, gloves, pants, boots. Oh, depends. Do you wanna just put the clothing, right? So maybe belt, accessories,
Okay.
but that's still not aesthetical, I would say.
Yeah, no, I would never render a belt for you. I'm sorry, man.
Well, apart from that, just like one weapon in each hand,
Oh man,
and that's it.
I think we should have rings.
Right, rings, and one weapon for each hand. I suppose.
Okay, so can you create this table for us?
I can. How should I name it though?
Character Um,
because those are different things, right?
yeah,
So
those are very
That's
different things.
equipment, right?
Those are what?
That's your character equipment, no?
Equipment is a good name. Equipment is a very good name. Okay, while Magetta does that, Marinho, we have a duty here.
which branch are you
Okay.
on, by the way?
I think you're doing new queries or whatever. You have in your terminal.
I
You,
do, but I'm checking if you are on that branch or you can
no, I
directly
I
from.
am on characters. We are working on different branches right now. So here's the thing, Marinho. So remember that last time when we last recorded, we did this dumb thing or in the for loop. We are already like all the time reloading the assets. We should not do this. We should not do this at all. So so I was kind of thinking that we should do another for loop, like before this one that does the rendering. We do a primary for loop that does the loading of all the assets that we need to load the character, and then we're gonna mock that by just this line because in the future we're gonna have to like create the character with all the equipment. But just as Magetta said, we don't need to care about this for now for rendering. So
Uh,
do you think that's gonna work?
I mean, we can try.
We can try. Um, hmm.
By the way, do we plan to have a relatively small number of visual assets or
Now that we
not?
have this much equipment, I don't know, man. I'm gonna ask to generate 100 things. I have no idea. I just don't
Because
know how we're gonna render them because let's suppose that I have background transparent PNGs. If I just put one thing on top of the other, that's gonna look terrible, right?
why?
I don't think
Because
you should have images at all. You should just render yourself. Like you store the a matrix of the data and then you render with Raylib.
a matrix of the
Yeah, like
data.
the bits. You do bit art.
Oh, I mean pixel art.
Yeah, pixel art. Thank you.
Oh, that's gonna be hella heavy, man, to do.
Well, that's a proper way to do it, as far as I know. But
That's gonna be like, geez. Yeah, but I think I got it. So we could have man, that's kind of nuts because we could have like a file called equipment. That's not how you spell equipment. You could have an equipment.zig that has that this file because it can be interpreted as a struct. We have a bunch of consts, and then I can say helmet, and then I say this is an array read-only of U8s. Well, in this case, because this is Zig, I guess I could do this. Why not? And
hmm,
then I could just say this, and put the bitmap here.
Dude, you don't have to do that because you can just have a bitmap, edit it with an image editor, and then embed the file in the executable.
Yes, yes. But who's gonna do that though? Because I don't know how. I'm not an artist. Do you know how many hours I spent doing the Dr.Nekoma logo, man? Do you have any idea?
No,
Yeah, it took a long time, very long time.
you can probably ask. Uh, I know there is like this things that you can send a PNG and then it generates like pixel art out of it.
Oh,
But then you still have to control like the size, right, to make it all the same size. Uh, like you would probably want all the headgear to have this more or less the same sizes, right?
I
Otherwise,
was
it
kind
will
of
look
thinking
weird.
that all the gear would be exactly the same, and we differentiate their power by the colors. Like if you ever seen Fortnite, that's what they do. All the weapons they are all the same. Yeah, like in the sense that.
And that's boring.
But man, how are you gonna do that not in that way? That's a lot of work, Magetta.
Oh, you can. That's a lot of work, but you don't need to make a lot. You just make like two, and that's it. Or even one, man. Like, and don't give any options, just one.
You don't have an option. This is the only helmet in the universe.
Yeah, like I don't know, jack o' lantern. Like, that's not an option. Good luck. I also think it would be worse because we probably would want to make 2D representations, like drawings or 2D representations of things. But kind of, if we go for like an isometric view, it should make sort of uh, the same item but from different angles, so we can you see.
Yeah, no, but that's not gonna be a problem because the game, if we're going with the way that Gian suggested, the camera will not allow you to see different angles of anything.
What's this camera angle suggested?
Uh, fuck. Is that in the talks chat? One
Verde
moment.
Valley.
It's basically a top-down angle, no?
It was supposed to be a top-down.
Is it like Stardew Valley?
N no,
In
I think
Stardew
that's way
Valley,
more
you're not
complicated.
allowed. Stardew Valley, you're not allowed to see the different positions. Although, like, you only have a rotation of 4, but you no, actually no. You just move like to the right and left. So you just mirror the thing, but the character like doesn't look back. You always just go like walking on the same direction, basically.
Ah. But that's well, we can deal with that later. If you're gonna have angles and different angles, that's fine. I think the idea of initially having like one armor and then we differentiate its, I don't know what is gonna be the metrics of a weapon. We have to decide that because as you guys may be aware, there's many systems to evaluate how powerful a weapon is. And we could, I'm just proposing to have like a number, which is the power number of the weapon. If it's between 0 and 10, it's, I don't know, whatever color, and 10 and 20, it's another color, just to have some variety in this on the screen. Not that everybody's the same crap. Exactly the same.
No. And obviously, the highest tier will be green.
No, it won't. But it will also not, it's not gonna be blue as well. I'm gonna ask Magita, because Magita is the fashion guy here. What
What?
is the, what is the royal color?
Purple.
Purple.
No, but royal in the sense of the most powerful, the most like badass, the most show off.
Purple.
It is
Purple.
purple. Okay, so purple would be the color at that end, Marin.
It's usually depends. Well, it's usually purple and yellow or both together. But I would say like it's purple for historical reasons and yellow because of associations, basically.
I
Gold,
see.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Except that gold is actually terrible material for a weapon. So
yeah, it's very bad,
Well,
very bad.
I would make a golden sword just in case.
That's fine.
It's
Okay,
probably the being unarmed in Brazil.
yeah. Okay, so here's my proposal, Marin. While Mageta does that, we're gonna do the loading of the teapot as the mock-up for now. Because we should not be reloading this every single frame. That's stupid.
we can just embed the file. Although I don't know how Raylib works if you want to. Okay, here's a pointer to
I am
minor data.
99% positive that there is a way to do that in Raylib, because that is not uncommon strategy for assets. So embed image Raylib. There is a way. I am 100% positive that there is a way to embed something in the executable. And well, you actually should look at the sheet. So sheet, yeah, this. So what function am I using? I'm using load image. So let's not that. Let's search for image. Actually load. Aha! There it is. So load image from memory buffer, file type refers to extension. So that's it. You just pass the extension of the image, your buffer of bytes, and the data
And the
size,
size.
and it's gonna load an image from memory. So we can embed it if we want. Although that sounds a little bit overkill because the teapot is just for mocking purposes. We're not gonna ship the game with this anymore.
But embedding things in Zig is actually easy. There's a built-in for that.
Okay, I'm gonna try it then. So how can I do that?
At embed file, and then you pass the file path relative
Okay.
to the current file.
Okay, so teapot image. I'm gonna say that this is. I'm gonna first load it here because I'm to the embedded. So I'm gonna load it. Wait, maybe I'm not understanding things right. You said that I can just do at what?
Embed file.
And what do I put as an argument for this guy?
The path relative to the current source file.
So it goes here.
I mean,
And
it can be an absolute path as well, but
yeah,
we're not gonna do that, right?
yeah, we're not gonna do that. What else do I need to provide? What does this return me?
That's basically equivalent to turning the entire file into a string.
So you're basically saying that this is a series of U8s.
This is a pointer to an array of U8, yes.
So teapot image. I'm actually gonna call that this is the teapot embed. And you said that this is a pointer, so this is probably
You
is
don't even you don't need to give it an explicit type. You can just say equals.
okay. Oops. Um, but that's still really we're still gonna have to do this the other for loop, right? Because we're not gonna do reload image from memory inside this loop here because that's gonna be also stupid, right?
Yes, it would be.
So here's my proposal. Here's my proposal. In the future, when we remove the mock, we're gonna have to do a call to Erlang, right, and retrieve the equipment from the character. Well, not necessarily here. Probably is gonna happen before. But I was kind of thinking of making the character array as a character of tuples, and then the tuple will be the character itself, which is the struct that we created last time, such as this one, and the other member of the tuple would be the equipment data, and in this case, it's going to be the teapot embed. What do you think about that?
The other item would be the equipments. Mm, I don't see why not.
There is another way of doing this. Actually, I have a question for you, Marinho.
Okay,
Imagine that we have this struct that is strictly coming from Erlang, right? So this is Erlang character.
okay.
Would there be a way that I can add more stuff to this because of the client things? And I think I know the answer. We can't because this would completely not work with the deserialization process, right?
Yeah,
So we would need to do something like pub const character, which is the client character, and then we're gonna say character stats, character data, and then we're gonna say that this is in the Erlang data, not data, character, and then we're gonna have to have the specific front-end stuff, such as the equipment data, which for now will only be well, I need the type of this now. What is the type of this?
that's basically a string, but I wonder if the equipment data should actually be an enum, actually.
Enum.
Because,
How come?
well, we have all the equipment defined in the backend, right?
Yes.
which means there's a finite known number of equipments of each type, right?
No, okay, okay, yeah. In the future, probably we can discuss if that's gonna be an enum. I think that makes sense. But for now, this is gonna be this. For now. And actually, no, that's fine. For now, that's fine. And then here. Uh, so what I was thinking about doing, I was kind of thinking of saying this will now be Erlang, and then character will be an array of characters, right? So this is gonna be a character, probably messages. I don't remember. Am I calling messages dot? Yes. So messages dot character, something like that. And then we would start with an empty one. Uh, then we would uh, do the following. We would do for Erlang characters. Please give me the character data. Well, the character. And then we're gonna do character. I remember. I already forgot how to push stuff. Array Zig.
If you want to be able to push stuff, we probably should use an array list.
An array list, you say?
Yes,
Have I played with those already?
I don't think so.
Wow, that's weird. So array list. Array list.
I'll be right back.
Ah, I see. I see. So we actually need to use the game state allocator. It's not going to be a vector of UH, it's going to be a vector of messages character. And then
And think we need to do,
characters.
I think we need to put a prefix on the array list because we haven't aliased that type. It should be somewhere in the standard library. I don't remember the exact path.
I see. So then we're going to do that, and we're going to do append. And I believe it's going to be something like that. Erlang, not that. Character data. We're going to see that this is the character. And we're going to say that the equipment data is going to be the teapot. So here's the Rust question for you. How is the ownership gonna work on this?
What do you mean ownership
We have,
specifically?
are we, oh, the teapot is a string, so it's already a pointer. So all the equipment data in the mock is sharing the same teapot pointer.
Yes.
Yes. Another question for you. Another question for you. Should we load this right now? I'm starting to think that we should. Agree on that?
Well, ideally we should load it. Maybe we should preload it actually when we start the game.
Um, that's future concerns though. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this should be the type of the equipment data for now, instead of a string, which means I need Raylib. So const import Raylib, like that. That's cool. And then here, we're gonna say, please load, that's not here. Load image from memory. Load image from memory. This returns me an image. What other function am I using? Load texture from image. So I need to do two operations here. You are right. We're gonna have to do the loading of the image before. So this is gonna be teapot loaded. And we're gonna say load image from memory. And we're gonna say the file type, which is kind of,
It's a string, right? This is a
it
PNG,
is,
so we should
yeah,
say
yeah. But because this is a mock, this is fine. Then we're gonna put the teapot embed here, and now we need the size of it, which I have no idea how to retrieve the size of a string.
it's teapotembed.len.
Len. Cool. That means then now I can do the following. Load texture from image, and then teapot loaded. It's here. Teapot loaded. It's here. Then these can go away, and then we also have to remove this nonsense here. And this is going to be characters, character again. The current character, we need to retrieve the character data from that. Which also means that we need to grab the character data to retrieve the name. Here is going to be character, equipment, data. And then we're going to just do that. That should work, huh? What do you think?
Probably.
Probably, that's what you say. Don't know if I trust it though. Really don't know if I trust it.
I
So
have a
let's see.
feeling we increased the number of leaks in the program, but okay.
Actually, that's a very good question. How can we know that? This Zig has like a vol grind or whatever? What?
It integrates with normal val grinds, actually. It is compatible, so
Man, Postgres is not running. You see here?
yes.
Why?
Well, actually, it says it's running. Now it doesn't.
No, but there were, oh no, it's not running. Here, open, blah blah blah, process compose, no such file directory. What?
Ah, it's trying
Error
to read
reading
from the home
settings.
directory.
Yeah,
Is that?
what the heck happened there? So git status. So if I do a stash, and then I do I'm already on Nix, dev env up. Why? The same error happened again though. Git stash pop, and then we do dev env up. I didn't change anything. That's really, really weird. I never seen that error message before. Maybe it was already there from the beginning though. Rebar 3 shell. Yeah. Um, and then finally, because this application requires 3 terminals, we're gonna do just client, I believe. Uh-huh. So 37. 137. I keep forgetting that everything requires semicolons. Cool. Embed of file outside package path.
Oh, we should probably add that to the. Um, I don't remember if it's the build.zig or build.zig.zone, but I think it's .zone actually.
Really?
Uh, yeah, see, paths, build.zig, build.zig.zone. We need to add the assets there as well.
Yeah. So assets. Nope. Are you sure?
Mm,
It's just because we need to add the nonsense because of the flake nonsense. Let's check. So let's add the client build Zig zone. And let's do that again. Nope.
Still not. Okay. Outside of package path.
I'm wondering if we need to remove
Oh,
the dot
the assets.
dot.
No, the assets are outside of the client directory. You need to move it there, actually.
Really? That's kind
Well,
of
either
weird.
that.
No, but it kind of makes sense, in fact. I think it's fair. Uh, no, don't delete client, please. So create a directory. Assets, boom. And then we're gonna say that I want to copy the teapot, not there, but to client assets. And then we can just remove that. Cool. Which basically means that I can do this now. File not found.
You still need a dot dot because the assets are not inside of source.
Embed file outside package path.
How weird.
Do I need no? But there is always the possibility that this is the flake doing the nonsense. So let's add that. No.
Maybe just assets slash teapots.
Assets slash teapot. Uh, also no.
Okay, that's annoying. Hmm.
Do I need to
Mm.
pass this folder to the Zig command line?
Theoretically, the build.zig and build.zig.zone should do that for us.
Are you sure about that though?
Zig embed file. Mm, let's see. Um,
So Zig embed file. Okay. Oh, how cool. There are no there are no freaking examples.
Actually, I found a thing that is discussing the exact problem that we are currently having. It's here.
And what is it saying?
I don't know. I haven't finished reading it yet.
Bootloader.
Mm,
What the fuck, man? At least now I have a better understanding of how to read this. Oh, we can change the root.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to really do that though. What's your suggestion?
Hmm. We could move the assets inside of the source directory, but then that's not really source code, is it?
No, it isn't. That's very cursed. Wait a moment. Are
What
we
if we
stupid?
just
Are we really
what?
stupid? Ah, okay. Because I was kind of thinking if it has access to the assets things because of the zone file, why not just pass the file path of the image itself because it's already here?
Uh, Maybe I can try going to the build.zig and changing the root path if that helps, but
I really didn't want to do that though. So main
we
root
just need to
source
do
file. Huh. I'm starting to think that I do need to do dot dot then. Have we tried this already? Yeah.
not really.
No, but it's saying embed a file outside package path. It's saying there.
Yeah, because it's outside of the source, right?
But that's kind of weird though.
I think maybe if we do the suggestion of exe set main package path, that could help. Like,
That sounds
yeah,
wrong, but okay.
uh, yeah, just put
Uh,
it anywhere after the const exe, and it should work probably
why not just do it in here?
because that's before you initialize it. Exe is not defined in there yet.
I am back, happy
Doing
and
like this.
joyous.
Yes, like that.
Let me see. So item. Um, I think it makes sense for us to categorize the items between consumables and
Oh,
weapons,
potions,
right?
right?
Yeah, consumables, weapons, and like wearable items, right?
But are we gonna have like a durability system? Is a weapon consumable?
Yeah, but even if they break, they are not gonna disappear, right? Assuming you could still repair the
Well, in
item.
some games, if the durability goes to
Ah, I
zero,
hate
the
that.
weapon
That's
breaks. The
horrible.
weapon
Yeah,
breaks.
Zelda. That's horrible.
Okay, so let's not do that then.
I like what Dark Souls does. Like your weapon breaks, but you can just go to a smith and repair. And why, right? Because like it doesn't really make the items special, I would say. Like you get a cool sword and then you start using it and then the sword breaks. Like that's kind
No,
of
but
a
don't you think it's the opposite? It's precisely because the sword is special that you need to have paying attention to its durability.
I don't think so because in it depends on what you call special in this case. For me, it's more special to arm to get
Okay,
the golden weapon I want.
I'm gonna give a personal example. So when I played this type of games, there were some
So
times
just use in specific occasions. That's basically
I
the
was very attached to a weapon, and I started to like enhance the weapon like as no tomorrow. I spent a lot of resources on like modifiers and enchantments and all that stuff on the weapon. And because it was rare enough, it would be a very long time since I would find something better. So if there was a durability system in that game, I would 100% care about maintaining it forever. That's my example.
yeah, but that assumes you can, right? For in games like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, you can't. The weapon will break.
Oh, it's just like fatal. It will
It
happen. You don't have
pulverizes.
anything.
So that I find that model so. I mean, it forces you to play in a different way, but I don't like the way it forces you because I'll compare Dark Souls again because I really like the way Dark Souls specifically handle this. there's a lot of variety, right? So you have like all sorts of weapons for different playstyles, and almost all of them are viable. Like you can pick like a broken swordman and finish the game.
Yeah,
Like
I believe I've seen many meme videos with people using like.
yeah, like these crazy bad weapons, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that. The point is, you only question the why, right? But uh, I like the fact that you can pick a weapon that you really enjoy the way it works, and then you just keep using it. Like I remember when I played the first time, I went first to the catacombs. I beat Pinwheel. Yes, I did that first because I was dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. Uh, and then I went to the Tomb of the Giants, and then very close to Nito, there's this paladin that pops up, right?
Mhm.
His name is Paladin Leroy, and he drops a a huge hammer. And then, man, when I looked at that, I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing! I love this!" And then I used that for the whole game, the same weapon. Like, if I knew that that thing would break and I wouldn't be able to repair, why the heck would I bother? You see, like, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying like it
completely
could
see.
vanish with durability, but I think just making the weapon break and that's it. It's kind of
No, that's bad. I wouldn't like that system at all.
like I hate that on Zelda because you pick a weapon you like and then it makes all of them look generic because you just see them as disposables, right?
Yep.
What if, like,
100%.
okay, two things. First of all, Lemos, I posted a message in the chat. What if we put a theme link to assets inside of source?
That's a lot more work than doing this. Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. We 100% should discover how to make it embedded, but we can do that later. That's like very minor details.
A second point about the whole durability thing.
Try.
What if the weapon breaks after a while? While it's broken, it's weaker, but then you can repair it later by spending some kind of resource to do it,
Yeah, I
and
would
then
be
it's
okay
back to
with
full
that.
strength.
I would be okay with like the weapon being unusable and not working correctly if the durability is zero, but I wouldn't like at all if by accident I forgot that, oh, it was 30% durable, so this boss fight will not work. And
Let me tell one example, okay? You know the champions in Breath of the Wild.
I heard of them, yes.
So there's this main bosses in the land, right? And each one of them they are very important events, and they make it feel like it's a very important event. The battles are epic. It's really nice. Blah blah blah. You get their sword, their weapons actually, not necessarily swords, but you get their weapons, and then you can craft them. Blah blah blah. You got the weapons, fine. And then if you start using it, they break. Like man, like what the heck? Like it's this whole special weapon, and then you just by attacking goblins you break it. Like what? And then you cannot repair. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's very bad. Seems very
And
bad.
the only sword on Zelda that doesn't break is the Master Sword, but you need to wait to charge back again. So I don't know what they were thinking. They thought it was a good system. I don't think so, but
Yeah. Okay, but we
whatever.
that's the positive side. We have total control over our system.
Yeah, we just don't have plenty developers to do the graphics and all of that,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
full time. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So, Marinho, how do I do a loop over an array list? Do I need to do some like items?
I think you can grab the underlying slice of an array list. I'm not sure how exactly, but I know there's a way. Let me check the documentation a moment.
I'm gonna look at documentation as well. Okay, so but going back to the classification of the things about consumables and stuff like that, I think we should do that though. Like I'm very okay with having potions. By the way, what are the aside from the stats of the character, the stuff like mana, like health, like stamina, are we gonna have any of those aside from health, of course?
Wait, I don't follow. Say it again.
So in many games you have like bars that they recharge with time or they recharge with potions.
Mm-hmm.
The question is,
Effects.
yeah, not only effects though. What if? One moment. I found it, Marin. I found
Amazing.
it. I was kind of thinking. So stamina. Are we gonna have stamina? Will our game support running?
Uh, since it's a 2D stuff, I don't think so. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, it broke.
Yeah, I think you would just have a walking speed, and that's that. And you may have be able to increase or
Huh.
decrease your walking speed, but there's only one speed, is the point.
Mhm.
I think most top-down games do that because you may be able to run, but then run just becomes your default way of moving. Then what's really the point?
It's
Because
because
why would you go slower?
yeah, but that's the thing. So first things first. As far as I can tell, our game is not gonna be like a plain 2D. It's gonna be some camera stuff going on there.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like, why games like Pokemon? You need to pick like running shoes to be able to run. Like that. That's just annoying.
No,
Like
I'm not
just allow the
saying
character to
I'm
run,
not
to walk
proposing
in
to
a.
have an item that will allow you to run.
No,
Everybody
I
will be
know.
able to
I'm just
run.
saying, why not just make the default the character to move fast?
Because sometimes in some games you want to have the walking capabilities, but usually those games involve puzzles.
I don't know. I'm thinking of like Sonic 3D.
Oh, okay, I see.
Gotta go
Do you
fast.
know Sonic 3D Blast?
Not by name, but I know so I think I know Sonic 3D.
Actually, search for. Let me see.
I think I know that game actually. Sonic 3 Blast.
3D Blast. Yes.
Yeah, I actually know that game. I played it quite a bit actually.
Well, I'm sorry to hear.
Uh, Folks, something is very wrong.
Like you start walking normally, and then Sonic starts going faster. You see?
I don't know, man. I like to have total control over the movement of my character. If I want to go slow, I would like to go
Okay,
slow.
whatever. Just make a button, then you can run. That doesn't need to be tied
No, no,
to
no, no. But
stamina.
that was not the question. The question is, are we gonna have any? Because the first thing that came to my mind when you talk about potions is like, are we gonna have like a bar that needs to be that needs to be recharged using potions, such as health bars, for instance?
Well, we already have help
Yeah, health is usually at least the minimum, right? We also have stamina. We also have whatever the metric you want to be able to cast spells, all that stuff. So, for instance, in Dark Souls, as far as I can tell, the stamina is used for like rolling, no?
Or anything. Attacking, rolling,
Yeah. So,
walking. Not
are we,
walking, sorry.
yeah, are we
Running,
gonna have a similar
jumping.
bar?
Yeah, you can. That's not a problem.
Okay. Marinho, help me, please.
By the way, like this 3D isometric perspective is terrible for Sonic. Thinking about it,
Hmm.
because you don't have a vision of like how far you can run. You see, like it's very narrow the window space, so you are actually, yeah, pretty bad.
Uh,
Data's not valid.
yeah, I changed the position of the folder, right? I changed the position of the folder.
Wait, but the load image is relative to what? The
That
running process or to the
that
source
is
file?
what I have no freaking idea. I know that we managed to make it work before. Oh yeah, here's the teapot. Why is the texture being loaded this many times? That doesn't make a lot of
Because you are
sense.
loading it inside of the render function, and that's being called every frame.
Oh, that is correct. So we need to. Oh, I'm so fucking sad right now.
We need to preload the image, as I
I
said.
forgot we are not using this being a loop that goes forever. This entire function goes forever. I see. We're gonna have to externalize this once again, which is very freaking annoying. Very freaking annoying.
Respect for the dead man.
Okay, but there is a solution though. It's just a matter of grabbing this. Well, I'm gonna also put the I'm also gonna carry the to do. It's very easy. You just grab this. You go to the function that we load the stuff, which is down here. No, not this. This one. Uh, and then I say this. Yeah. So in the case of an OK, in the case of an OK, we just do that. We are not grabbing the value out of this thing, right? So this could be anything, all right? Agree on that?
If we're not grabbing the value, then yeah, it can just be whatever.
Mm-hmm. So here's the question. Can we just say...
Oh, actually, we are. Oh no, we aren't. Okay.
Yeah. So can we just say something like this? Would that work? You see what I'm doing here?
Yeah,
So this should work, no?
I think so.
And then I remember that you had an idea that I disliked a ton, which is to add the characters in the game state just to pass them around once, which I still hate. But I'm starting to think we're not gonna have a choice.
But you cannot deny.
So messages, character. So, but this thing would need an allocator, no? Marinho?
Why would it?
Wait, I'm confused. Isn't arrays the one that you don't know the size, the ones that you're gonna need an allocator anyway?
You need an allocator to allocate. It depends, right? Because you can convert an arbitrary array into a slice. And then if the array is stack allocated, then that's that. You don't need an allocator. But if you plan on not knowing and actually needing to handle multiple potential sizes, um, you may need an allocator to create the array that backs the slice. You don't need an allocator associated with the slice itself. That's kind of nonsense.
Makes sense. So now what do I need to do? I need to pick this.
It's actually modeling this is actually harder than I thought.
Yeah, no, it's both on the server side and render side. This is not trivial. Uh, so let me think. Let me think a bit. We have character, but what we are writing here, down here, this is an Erlang. This is an Erlang characters. Do we have Erlang characters in plural, or am I going nuts? No, we do have Erlang characters in plural. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. That this makes sense. This makes sense. So then, once I get the characters, I need to do this nonsense. And I'm gonna call these guys Erlang characters. Then I do the stuff, put the yeah. Do you think this is gonna work, Mario?
Uh, let's see. You do an if it's an okay, you grab the slice
Yeah.
and then load the image, you allocate an array list, you add the image to each character,
Yeah,
and then you go to character selection,
yeah,
and you put the character list in the game state. Yeah, that should work.
yeah. So I'm very use of undeclared identifier. Did I write it wrong?
You
Char.
copy pasted this from elsewhere, right? It should be no.
This is not how you type characters, I think. Am I writing this right? Character?
Yes, that is right. But that's not what the error message is complaining about.
The error message is complaining about line 122. Oh, okay. I removed the code from there. That makes sense. That's easy though.
Of course.
You just do game state character list icons.
Is that correct? I'm not sure that it is actually.
I am 90%. So client 66. What the heck is going on 66?
We have a game state.
Oh, it's because okay. So I'm gonna say that this can be null
You need to put, in that case, a question mark in front of the type to say it's nullable.
oops in front of the type, like in here or in
Yeah.
here. Oh, okay.
No, in front of the, yes, there.
Uh, wait,
Oh, you're trying to put an
wait.
array list where you're expecting a slice. That doesn't quite work.
Yeah, but there is a solution. There is a solution. You just remove this and you put that down there. Handling these assets, especially if you have to mock stuff, that's very inconvenient.
That's what it would make use doing an IDE, I suppose, like
Yeah,
an engine in the
yeah,
studio.
yeah. It's not indexable in not a range. So character list is not
Oh,
a.
right. Because it's a nullable. Well, wait, no, it's right because you can't index if it's null. You
You need to check
need to
before.
do a yeah, you need to do a null check so you can unwrap the null, which means that's a very easy way to do that actually. You can just do if and then the nullable value, and then you capture the condition.
Capture the condition.
Yeah, put parentheses around the game state dot character list, and then you do vertical bars,
Oh, vertical.
and then you say, I don't know, list characters,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you prefer. And then in the then branch of the if, now characters is a non-nullable reference. It's
Ooh.
not nullable anymore.
So I can just
And
do
then,
this now. Characters. And then I can just wrap all of this like so.
yeah. And if you
Uh,
wanted to handle the null case, you could do that in the else of the if, but I don't think that's necessary here.
the compiler should tell me that I should though. 122 again. What's wrong? Wait, 4? Did I save? Oh, I didn't save. Okay.
Well, no, it won't because you already did. You checked if the value is null, and then you use in the then branch, and if it's not,
Haha!
and
We
then if
have
it's
two
actually
points.
null, you would go to the else, but then you chose not to do anything
No,
because
no,
in this
it's
case,
correct. It's correct. I'm getting tired. You're 100. You were correct. But there's a problem.
yeah,
Whatever the math I did is wrong. You see here, right? It
yeah.
because it works like in here, but it doesn't work the other if it's small.
I think I'm starting to understand why most games only offer a couple resolutions for you to pick from instead of being arbitrarily resizable.
Well, that's partially true. One of the reasons that they don't is just bad programming because they don't tell you this. But in a lot of games in Steam, you can open the config files and you can find a file that controls the resolution and you change yourself and it's gonna work.
Europa Universalis.
So there it is. Immediate example. So for instance, some older, not older, but some games before the 4K era, the developers didn't add a 4K option, especially even when the monitors started to be affordable in 4K resolution. So people started to like figure it out that wait, there is a configuration file inside some special folder in app data or whatever in Windows. And then there you can change not only the resolution but also the aspect ratio. You can even force some games to be ultra wide doing this trick. And in the
That's
case
kind
of
of
the
fun.
in the case of the ultra wide, I can kind of understand that it's not just the developers being lazy, because making a game play like if it's a competitive game, you need to make it fair for the users that are using ultra wide if it's a competitive game. But you need to make some extra effort to with the point of view, with the camera, extra rendering of stuff if you have a ultra wide monitor. But for me, the ones that just for lols, they don't allow like 4K or 1440p or whatever, and you need to go to a stupid file to change it manually. That's laziness. So for instance, in this case, I agree that. Well, I don't know if I agree, because to me it makes sense that this should be playable, man. If I am a weirdo and I want to play in this size, why not? Why the heck not?
Or what if you are on a small laptop?
But dude, this is smaller than a laptop screen. I get.
Have you seen the screen of a ThinkPad? If you have a 2K display, yeah, if you have like a 2K, 4K display, and it's a weird ratio like my laptop, like 4 by 3, and you're using a weird operating system like Linux, you have to scale to 200%. So that's kind of the resolution I would use, actually.
Wow.
Okay, but before we just drop the idea, let's see if we can figure out why the math is wrong, because the math is simple. Uh, and by the way, after we are done with this, I'm gonna commit, and then we're gonna go to the other possibility, because this is the possibility in which you already have characters. You created a Lemos character and a Magenta character, and this is saved on Postgres, right? We're just waiting for Magenta to finish the
Yeah, I'm
schema
almost done. I'm
implementation.
just making a. I'll always keep consumables for now. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
just put equipments. I'm just making a check.
no,
So
that's
let
fine.
me share my screen.
And then when we are done with this, and we're gonna go to the other possible route of the user, which is to create a character. Then we're gonna have to have a plus button somewhere. We're gonna have to have a text so you can provide the name of your character, and then we're gonna have to have the stats, right? So the constitution, strength, endurance, and all that stuff. And we're gonna have to make sliders, right? We're gonna have to make sliders. That's gonna be very fun.
Uh, okay, so let's do this. So head.
So, Marinho, try to check with me what's wrong with the math, please.
Okay.
So we first start by saying, by establishing what is the character button X. So this is the top left button. So my imagination was based on what your suggestion last time, which is that we're going to have 3 characters per screen. And if you have more than 3, we're going to have an arrow that you can skip the pages, right?
Right.
So it has pagination. So this is supposed to be the position of the X of the first button on the top left. And what I decided is going to be whatever is the width of the screen divided by 10, and probably this is to make it centered.
Well, that's kind of wrong actually, because here's the thing. We that position is the top left corner of the button, right?
This position is the top left corner of the button. Yes, I think so.
Right. So if you if you say that the X is width of the screen divided by 10, you're basically saying, okay, I'm splitting the screen horizontally into 10 sections, and I'm putting the button on the second section. Like there's section 0, and then there's section 1, and that's where the button is.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, we're also going to add the button size divided by 2. What does that do? What does that do?
This is gonna be the size of the button that you're gonna click to select your character. So the Lemus and Magetta, they are using, this is the button size, which is a vector 2, right? So yeah, it's like, kind of like this. It's just a vector 2 with, yeah, here it is actually. Oh no, wait, oh no, I created a new one. So this is the character button size. So it's this one.
So you're basically saying, okay, I'm now adding a third of the screen because it's 1/6 divided by 2 down there, right?
Yeah.
Which means that actually
Shouldn't this be
the
minus then to make it what I said, center?
that's not quite it, because here's the thing. Yeah, it should be actually, because in order to center a button on the screen, what you do is you say, okay, the left corner, we start at the center of the screen, so screen width divided by 2, but then we offset by half of the button size to the left.
Yes.
So yeah, it should be a minus.
Yes. And then I don't know why I did this nonsense here, which I'm gonna remove. Uh, we don't necessarily need this. I'm gonna just, oops. I'm gonna save it here. And then we do the same with the height, okay? Then what do we do?
System's roof.
Yeah, I want to go over your modeling, Magito, after you're done. So let's finish here, Marinho. So then we're gonna make the button position. So this is the, oh, actually I said it wrong though. This is the character button X, right? Oh no,
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense. This is the two coordinates separate, and this is the button that you're gonna click. So the first button is gonna be at X with the character button X.
Shouldn't the button size Y also be a minus
You
for the
mean
same
here?
reason? No, no, no. The on line 107.
Oh no, it should be a minus. Should be a minus. I'm actually also gonna remove this just to see, stop doing like gambiarra. Then we're gonna have the texture position, which is basically this. It needs to be the same nonsense as the thing. Okay, so this is just stupidity, right? I could just do button position Y, right? And what do we do when we are drawing, when we are rendering the characters? What do? We do this, right? We do this.
Button position X, we add the button size plus some padding,
Yeah. So this
and
is
we
to
also,
space them out.
I see. Yeah, I think that might work. Let's try it
Yeah,
out.
no, no, no. But here's the thing. I want, if it's not hard, maybe that's hard, but it shouldn't be. I want them to be evenly spaced on whatever screen size that we have. We always gonna have 3 buttons per page. So I want to have some math that will always give us the evenly spaced buttons.
Uh,
How could we do that? I think there is some math that involves the game state width and the size of the button.
yes. Yes, there is. Because here's the thing, you have 3 buttons, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and you want there to be some spacing. So let's say that, okay, let's do the math for like, okay, here's the thing. You have 3 buttons, right? That means if you count the spaces between the buttons,
You're gonna have
including the ones on the edge,
four.
you have 4 of them, right?
Four.
That means if you take the width of the screen,
And subtract 3 times the size of the button and divide
no, no,
that
no,
by
no, no, no,
four.
no, 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 and you make the
Am I wrong?
no, you take
Like
the
here.
screen width and then you divide it by 4. And that's the width of the button.
Ah. That's the
Because
width of the button. One moment, please. I see what you're saying. So you're basically saying screw this, and you're basically saying this is gonna be width divided by 4.
yes,
Yeah. But what about the padding though?
we don't need padding. Well, not extra padding at any rate, because here's the thing. We're saying that the button is a quarter of the screen, but there's only 3 buttons. We use the extra 4th button as the padding. We divide it into 4, right? And then
That's not gonna be
you basically
centered, I think.
no, because then you have the space between the 3 buttons. So there's 2 spaces, right, between the first and second, and between the second and the third. And then you have the edges of the screen. So you have 2 more spaces, you see?
I don't know if I'm following, man. This is basically saying that the width of a button should be the width of the screen divided by 4.
Yes.
So now the question is, uh, it's hella confusing
Basically,
though. One moment.
basically say, okay, for each button, you move a quarter of the button size,
Huh.
which is
But wouldn't that mean this? And then we basically jump to the first? I think so, no?
not quite, actually.
Wait a moment. I want to test this out just to see if I got it. Because here's my idea. When you are drawing the first button, you jump the size of 1, then you draw yourself, So then we have empty and then a button. This
That's
line will add another blank, right?
that's not quite right. You shouldn't skip an entire button. You should skip a quarter button.
A quarter.
Yes, because a button is a quarter of the entire screen.
Okay, I think I need to see this on the screen, man, because I don't know. I'm getting tired. I apologize. Let's see on the screen, and then we can go from there. So what is wrong?
Xenon has appeared.
Zero has appeared. So this is wrong, which is cool. So are you mad? Button
Oh, you
size.
set button size to be a number. It was a vector, a pair of vectors before.
That's fine. That's very fine.
Because there was the height of the button as well.
Oh, no, that's not fine at all. Yeah, we need this to be a vector too. Fuck. Cool. So let's do the following. Let's just say that this is gonna be a game state character button size,
Height.
and then here it's gonna be divided by 4. You said, right?
Yes.
Okay. So y here, and then x here.
Yeah, that should be x divided by 4, actually.
X divided by 4. Wait a
When
moment. I want to
you...
see first. I'm not saying you're
Okay.
wrong. Just because I'm stupid. I'm not really following why the idea that I said is not gonna fly there. Why there's no
Okay,
spacing here?
it works. I hope. I'll just make the consumables, and that's it.
Cool. Okay, so you said that we should do what, Marinho? We should do this divided by 4?
Yeah, so the initial button position should be the button size divided by 4.
Yes.
So we're moving a quarter of a button from the edge of the screen and
Yes.
starting the button there.
Yes.
We draw the button, right? Which means we need to move a button forwards, but we also need to move the padding forwards, which is a quarter of a button. So it's actually 5 quarters of a button that you need to advance instead
Wait a
of just a
moment.
button.
The padding grows?
No, the padding is actually proportional to the button size.
The padding is... No, I'm not saying that. But you said before. Are we gonna increase the padding?
No, it's because we changed how we're computing the button position, right? Before we were presuming, okay, the button will be centered on whatever position we choose, but now we're just saying, yeah, no, the top corner, top left corner is good enough, basically.
Man, I'm really not following, but I'm gonna follow your lead. So you said 5 quarters, right?
Yes.
Okay. If this works, we can go over it again.
Don't forget to add the quarter button padding before the first button.
Don't forget to add what?
Let's see, button position. Yeah, the button position should just be button size divided by 4, actually. Button size x divided by 4.
It's already divided by 4, no? Here.
No. That's how much, that's the size. Oh, yes, but it should be divided by 4 again, because why are you guys teapots? Because
Don't we
HTTP
always? I've always been a
418.
teapot.
Why you guys are teapots? That's a question.
That's much better.
That
And I can
seems
play.
that it
And I can
worked.
play on the laptop. Oh. Oh, I cannot.
We need to get well, but this is easy to fix. Now I want to. It worked. It's exactly what Marinho said. So now I want to understand why. Wait. This is a quarter, right? This is what we did.
Yes,
This is a quarter of. This is a 1 divided by 16 of the screen.
yes,
Okay. Then it comes the button, which is 1/4 of the entire screen.
yes.
Ah, I
We want to
see.
encode effects of the consumables.
I think we should encode both the effects of the consumables and the weapons. Because like if a weapon has
You,
poisoning, I want that.
I just okay. Should we model this now? I don't even know what we should have. To be fair,
No, you
and
can.
remind you that some items they might act like as, for example, like fire bombs, right? They are consumables, but they don't actually do any uh, effects on you, right? They're just like an attack item, basically,
Yeah,
or a
Ammunition, I
poison
guess
dart.
you could say.
Well,
yeah,
unless you don't explode it on your feet, I suppose.
yeah.
Then it's a rocket jump.
And here's a game that would be easier for us to do. By the way, just an idea. We could make in some other autistic language. We can even make 3D that. Bomberman.
Bomberman is a nice game.
Yeah, and it's fairly easy. I mean, uh, does a lot of checks on the matrix, right? But overall, it's easier from the technical standpoint, like on drawing stuff on the screen and etc. I think it's pretty okay.
Okay, so to finish this rendering thing, Marinho, I think we only have to fix the teapots now.
Yes,
And I kind of have in my mind where they should be. So here's my proposal. I'm kind of imagining that it should be, this size here, this padding that we did.
yes.
I think that amount, but vertical twice, and then the teapot centered in this region here. And let me
Okay,
explain why. Because when you click, we're gonna make this like selected, and then there's gonna be the selected button in the middle here that you're gonna click to join the world. So I was kind of thinking, I think the perfect spacing would be twice this size here from the bottom, from the bottom. And then the teapot needs to be centered with the button that it's corresponding to, and that's it.
okay. Sounds like a plan.
So now let's do. This is kind of a similar math. So let's do that. So where should the character be? Where are we drawing that? We are drawing the. Oh, it's the texture position. So the texture position is where the character lives, in fact. You see?
Yes.
So I'm using the same position as the bottom in the beginning, which sounds bad. It sounds bad because that basically shows me that this teapot has the top left corner here, no?
Yeah, that's wait, that's the Y position though, right?
It's the Y. No, but I'm replicating both. Look.
Yeah, that's not good because what's up with the dimensions of this image, man?
It's not a square, right? It's a inconvenient teapot. It's not a square. The mother flip is not a square. Ooh, that's a problem because we need to know the dimensions of the image.
I mean, we
Huh.
control the image because we're going to make them.
Yes, but Raylib should have a texture.
Okay, I'll commit this
Yes.
before
Xenon
committing.
said just stretch it. Just stretch it.
So texture. So can we get the size of a texture?
If you stretch it, it will look funnier. Yes, that is true.
It would look funnier. Oh, probably in this load texture 2D object thing though. Probably we can get it from there. Yeah. Okay. I have a question, Magetta. When you can we commit the data? Well, not the database, but can we commit the data that we insert in the database into the repo?
It will be better to make a random file to insert, right? To bootstrap.
Could you do that?
I can. Where do we have the data? Do you have it somewhere?
Uh, Man, I
Oh,
don't.
okay. There are some inserts inside of this thing, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So what we want? We need to have, I don't know, create three random characters with three. Well, I'm gonna mock the with the teapot, so you don't have to care about the imagery. With three different stats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also put me, you, and Marinho as users already in the database.
Okay.
And keep
So
my
let me
password
make.
the same: 1234566.
Okay. Let me use AI to do this for me.
That's funny.
That's the use case I found for AI.
Okay. So Marinho, let's try to discover how to do the math. So do you want me to? Oh man, I don't want to do that. Do you want me to crop this?
Math mentioned. Actually, Xenon suggested we just stretch the teapot.
That's gonna look terrible, man. It's not an SVG.
You can always
That's
pick an
true.
SPG of a Yoshi and stretch it.
That was intentional. It was supposed to make it look funny. Um, okay, but as an actual solution, as an actual solution to the problem, I would say do maybe just do like what's it called, content aware scale. Like
Oh, I know
that's
what you're
like
talking.
that's maybe a bit that might be overkill.
It
It
is.
might be probably really overkill.
It is.
But like I don't know, the other solution is either stretch it or you crop it. I'm gonna say crop because stretching is computationally intensive. But yeah.
Okay, let's crop it then. I'm very sad.
Thank you. Input.
What?
I mean, it's not that intensive if you scale it by like uh, an integer. Like you make it twice
Yeah,
as
but
big
like
in both dimensions.
why spend more computational effort when you don't need to, right?
That's true. That's very true.
Oh,
That's
to
true.
hurt the environment, of course.
Hmm.
I can't think of a better
You have to
reason.
use Rust.
Okay, so
Ah,
I'm doing the cropping here.
You know, I don't get it because you know they say Rust is so eco-friendly, but there's no green threads in Rust. So
I use JavaScript.
Man,
That's
that was a
better for.
very bad joke.
is it a Mourinho joke? Is it a
It
Mourinho
is. It
joke?
is Marinho level, 100%.
I guess that
wow.
means I'm like her.
It is
No,
like low level. Okay, where is it? Okay, it's here. Where is my thing? Here. Ah, here, here. Goodbye. And then we just grab the new teapot and move it there. So let's go there, there, there. Boom. Okay, so now I know the size of it. So the size is 300 by 300. Okay, so let's do the math. Where is it? It's in here. So the texture position is the position of the image. So the first thing that we need to do is to make it center, I guess. What do you think, Marin?
Yeah, probably.
Quick, Marinho, give me the name of a Vandal King.
Vandal King.
Hunderik. Let's go with that.
Oh,
Hunderik.
Oh, he's making the
Dave.
he's adding the data for the characters.
Yes. I'm making a
Dave.
barbarian named Hunderik.
It's Dave.
Dave, yes.
Dave the Barbarian.
I am in a
Dinkles the
castle.
Barbarian is how you should name it. Dinkle.
So here's the thing. So in terms of X, we want the center of the button to be the center of the image, right?
Yes, we do.
So that's interesting.
Oh no, we just need to start from the button position, the X, right?
Yeah.
That's the top left corner.
Yes.
We add half of the button position. That will put the top left corner of the teapot in the center of the button.
Half of this. This is doing
And
what?
then we
What you said? No, repeat what you said, please.
Yes, if you add half of the button position, that will center the top left corner of the teapot on the button. Then you subtract half of the teapot width because... Oh, and that's not the button position. You need to add
to
the
make it
button
simpler,
width,
you should
actually.
just make a you should just make a symbol. Huh. I mean, personally, I would have like made a thing called origin and say draw at the origin and then like abstract away the we're actually drawing for the top left corner or something.
No, but this is just a mock Xeon. We're gonna get rid of this at some like very shortly. This is just to have an image there.
Okay.
I mean, we will need to compute the origin anyways, and that's essentially what this is doing. But yeah, the button position should, on the second term, right? Button position over 2, that should be the button width, actually, not its position.
So this is size.
Button size.x, yes, because then we're saying, okay, start where the button is, we move halfway through the button, and then we go back halfway the size of the image. That should center. Yeah, I think that should work.
Yeah.
And then for the Y position, I'm not sure actually what's the best way to do that.
We just want some padding between the button and the character in the Y.
Well, in that case, we can just move down 1.5 times the button size.y.
Yeah, but that sounds a little too much. That sounds a little too much. But let's see. Let's see what that does. Okay, but what about the updates, right? So in this for loop, we are going to the next character, right? So what should we add in terms of X? The Y should be the same, I assume.
The Y should be the same. The X,
we need to center with the new button. The button, like each character has a button, right?
No, we can just add another button. The same value that we're adding to the button position, we can just add to the texture position as well.
That makes sense. I'm gonna make a variable out of this later, though. Cool. Let's see how this looks.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Let's see how that goes.
It won't, because that needed to be a plus equals.
No, it's close though.
Plus Why not just make a... I'm thinking of like a because this is like kind of front end stuff, right? So
yeah, this is the front end.
I was thinking in terms of like HTML type stuff, and it's like, can't you make like an object which contains both the button and the
We
text,
thought about doing that, but that's a lot more effort. This is not centered though.
That's weird. What's the
right edge of
horizontal
the image
size
is
of
centered
the thing?
to the center of the button, I think.
Yeah, we want to make the like the teapot center to be aligned with this button.
Oh yes, but what's the horizontal size of the teapot image?
300. 300 by
Quick, tell
300.
me
It's a
a
square.
first animal.
Wait, what did you say, Magetta?
Tell me first a fear. Tell me an animal that you fear, like that, like strong. You know, like
I don't know, a lion, man. I would
a
shoot my
lion. Kind
Bunnies.
of
pants.
cliche. Like
A
think of
bunny.
well, severing a bunny in two. That doesn't sound very heroic. I suppose.
Maybe I'd say like
A
I don't know,
griff.
some kind of bug.
A bug.
A
I said a
giant
bunny because
beetle.
of Monty Python.
A
Wait,
giant
what's
beetle.
a? I don't know anything about Monty Python.
It's a reference I've seen in university. You can say, I think Marinho is gonna send the link.
Yeah, you know, because Monty Python is for materialist secular boomers like Guido von Rossum.
Oh, by the way, so Zion, we are recording this time, okay?
Mhm.
This is going to the internet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so be careful with what you say. Uh, okay, so Marin, what's your hypothesis on what's going on here? Hello? Someone cut that. Oh, Marin lost internet, of course. Um,
All right, I dropped for a moment, and I'm grabbing the link to the Monty Python reference.
yeah. Marin, what's your hypothesis on why this is not doing its stuff?
It looks like the. Can you go back to the original frame, please?
Can I do what?
Can you show me the display,
Oh,
the
the display is this
product?
thing.
Yes, it's like it's the problem is that it's aligning the right edge of the teapot to the center line of the bottom.
Oh, so we need to add a 150 somewhere.
Something like that.
We need to add the 150 somewhere.
Mm,
Yeah, it seems to be the case, right, Marin? Do you agree with Zio? It seems that the right side is aligned with the middle of the button, but not the middle of the
Oh.
teapot.
The teapot is 300 pixels wide, right?
And it's 300 by 300.
300 by 300, okay.
So somewhere we need to
Yeah,
add
and it's
150.
like
Isn't just
let me
removing
full screen
this?
this. Hold on a sec.
Or am I going
I
nuts?
guess,
I think that will work if you try taking that out.
And I don't have rot reloading, so I need to recompile. Which is one of the few great advantages of the browser. Now it's the left side. Oh, it's 75. That's the wait 75. No, the image
You said
is
doesn't make sense
doesn't make sense. We had
because
150.
I'm trying to figure out what is the reference point for the like where is the reference point for the
It's the top left corner. The in Raylib.
let's see.
Okay, so it seems that the solution is this. I have no idea why. Am I tripping? It didn't. Isn't it 300 by 300? I'm 95% certain that it is. Yeah, now it is. Why? Huh. That's that's weird.
Try resizing the window. Nice.
Yeah, it works, right? It's very nice. Very, very nice. So something else that I would like to do, but here's the thing. Did you notice that the teapot is not, it's the same size regardless of the resizing?
Well, yes, because we're
You
loading
want to
from
make it scale with the window size?
Yeah, man. And I think it's this value right here.
Oh, I think wait. Equipment data, that's the teapot, right?
Yes, this is the teapot. This is the texture of the teapot that we loaded before.
What if you change that 0.5 to 1 and you change that 75 up there to 150 as it was originally?
Ooh. So then the scaling changes the.
Oh, yes.
Oh no, that makes total sense. We are using absolute values, right? We're not using proportions that we should. Okay, now it's much bigger. uh, but this works, right? This makes sense. Yeah, but I just noticed a
Right.
thing, Marinho. These two buttons, they don't have the same behavior as the other buttons because when we made the buttons for the menu, what are their behavior? If you hover, they're gonna do this sine wave thing. But if you click on them, you are
What
supposed to.
sine wave?
Yeah, we are using a sine to do
Oh,
this.
okay.
Uh,
This glowy effect.
yeah, but here's the problem. This button, when you click on it, you're not gonna change the scene. You're gonna, it's good. It should hold the white stuff, like because this is a selection button. You are supposed to click on it and then click down here to confirm or to submit your stuff. We're gonna have to make to figure out how to make that. That's not hard per se. It's just that I just noticed that, man, uh, because we already had this conversation before, right? When we were starting using Raylib, we said, man, there's so many things that we take for granted in using the browser because we don't have IDs for these objects. These are basically just like these are just pixels that we're drawing, and we need to do the math
Well, I
precisely
mean,
because of this.
what we can do is say, okay, we need to add a bit of state to the game state that says which character is selected, if any. And then when we're looping through the buttons, if the button corresponds to the character that's selected, then we always draw the glowy thingy instead of only if we're hovering on it.
Hmm. I see. I see. But that's a concern when we have the data that Magenta is doing for us. When that's ready, we can go back to
I'm
this.
making a lore already, by the way.
Yeah, you're
Just
making
saying.
a lore. That's fine. So now what we need to do? We need to make the screen that will appear if you have no characters, right? Actually, this screen is also kind of incomplete because if I have two characters and I want to create a third one, how do I do that? So the button of creation should be somewhere in both screens, right? But I think it's just easier. It is just easier to to and more interesting to go with the screen that you are empty and you're gonna click the plus and you're gonna have to create a new character from scratch. So let's just start to do that. How much time we have left? We have 20 minutes left. That's fun. Uh, okay. Wait a moment. Isn't that just the else of this?
Yes. Well, no, because what if we do have a character list which is not null but it's empty?
But that's what I just said. That this screen is still incomplete. We agree on that because we should not only show your characters, but we should also allow you to create new ones, right? But we're gonna do that after. Well, now we are waiting for to have a lore, right? To have the lore of the universe. So uh, while we wait for that, let's make the screen that
I am
is.
done. I'll just post. Let me just put the name of the items here and I'll commit. And Vandals Prima. There we go. I'll commit just in a sec.
Okay, so Zio, if you're interested in taking a look at the lore, just take a look on the commit Magetta will make shortly.
Oh, actually, let me rename. Let me delete the items. I don't think we need items for now.
We need to choose some arc numbers though. 413 is a classic one.
I'm very interested to see because Magetta just like pull it off a lore out of nothing. That's
That's
interesting.
Halo.
Okay, so Marinho, I kind of think that we should make this a separate function. Empty character scene.
There, pushed. I still, let's see. Do you need help writing the lore?
Uh,
I would appreciate, but we need to start thinking of like writing first the like a basic script of what the game is about, right? So we can do the tangential things. I just did a thing here like of picking cool names for the items and making a what I imagined of like the barbaric invasions in the Roman Empire.
oh, I have another question. Wait, when you did the mocking of the data, the mocked data, did you add that to the SQL file?
I made another one called main.input.sql.
Could you put in the devenv to run that when
Well,
you do devenv
I
up?
can. I absolutely can. But you will probably need to delete your.
Just do a drop and an insert, man. Classic.
Yeah, but that will be cursed, man. Okay, I'll do it.
Awesome. I love you, Magetta.
Main
Okay,
dot.
so let's do it.
That's
So
Welsh. What's Welsh doing in this game?
It's the name of a
Dark Souls is
day's
actually based
strife
on
motive.
Uh, Welsh myths, by the way.
Yeah, that was a reference. You didn't get it. But I know it's the Welsh name of Excalibur.
All right.
Yeah, the
uh,
hammer of Dillyhoo, you know.
Yeah, that's also.
yeah. Okay, so where should the create
Let's see.
the plus should the plus be, Marin?
Where should the plus be? Well, ideally it should be in the center of the screen, no?
Center of the screen. So um, I think we can use the menu button size for this because it's a little bit smaller. And I think I don't want a gigantic plus. I'm fine with like a normal plus. So let's use that. And you said the center of the screen. So that basically means 2 here minus that. Is that correct?
Yes,
And the
and
same thing
you
for
do
the
the,
x.
yes, the same thing for the X.
So width.
You know, it kind of bothers me that width and height have different lengths. Like one word
Yeah,
is
you already told me that before. I'm like, this is so Marinho though, to
yeah,
complain
one
about
word
that.
is 5 letters and the other is 6, and they don't line up vertically. That's bothersome.
Yeah, that's very you, man. That's very, very you.
Just change the spelling.
That's.
You know, it's
uh,
like that style guide. It's like, why do you mix and match the British and American spelling? Why that like some words have U and some doesn't? It's to make the camel case align better.
really? I didn't know that.
Amazing.
No, 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 no. I'm just saying is that if someone were to ask me why my code base has mixed British and American spelling, it's so that the words
Oh,
align
that bothers
properly.
the heck out of Marinho, man. I noticed that.
Why to have
Yeah,
mixed British
yeah.
American spelling?
Actually, that's a good
Also,
question.
to
What
Uh,
bothers you more, Marinho? Having mixed British and American English, or having not doing that and having to cope with different sizes of these things?
ah, that's a tough question.
To me, what bothers me more is Indians mistyping stuff all the time.
Oh,
Like
it always
oh,
comes
occurrence,
back
here's an
to
idea.
Indians.
Here's
like
what
they
you should do:
write
is you should replace the
occurrence and
word.
then write with double C, or I saw with single C, double C, then occurrence with a O. Like it's crazy.
Go on, Zio.
You should change the GH in height to 3.
GH.
So it's
Wait.
HEI 3T.
Oh, you mean removing the T?
Change it to this.
Load SQL files.
Yeah, that's a weird weird topic. Okay, so what do we do if we go to the plus? I don't want to add a new scene, man. Man, I'm starting to think. Marinho, here's a thought. Do you think we should have internal like state machines for each individual cluster of scenes?
Uh, I mean, we could.
Because look at this,
But
man. If you click the plus, following our current design, I'm gonna have to add a new scene just for you to create a new character. But this is not really important for the main game loop. The main game loop should only matter if you are on the character selection. You are going into a branch, a specific branch of the character selection, which is to click on the plus. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling that we should split the state machines into like smaller ones.
I think I get it. So basically, taking that idea of doing a nested loop and saying, okay, when you enter this particular scene, uh, we allocate the state for the new scene on the stack, and then we just loop the new scene here until we finish creating the character, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I'm not sure if that will actually work because we have to call the drawing functions the end, at the beginning and the end of each drawing loop, right?
Wait, repeat the
Which we
question.
are which we are doing on the outside loop, but would that work in the inner loop as well?
Oh, I know what you're saying. There is some stuff that we are doing, such as this, right? Such as this, that we need to cross this point of the program in order to update the width and the height of the stuff that a lot of things are based on. And if we
Yeah.
do the internal state machine, we would have to also duplicate this stuff there.
Not just that, but the begin drawing and end drawing on lines 321 and 322.
No, I don't think we would need to repeat these because what we would,
We
the
would
internal,
because we no, we would because then what would happen is okay, we're in an inner loop. And inside of this inner loop, we never call end drawing and we never call begin drawing again. So we never finish the frame actually.
we never finish the frame. I don't follow, man, because to me the inner loop would just be this branch, right? You go to the character selection and it happens that there's a very long loop here. That's it. That's what you're doing.
But
I
then
need
when
to
you expand,
discover how, by the way, to do the up stuff on Nix, but I'll do it later. The
Okay.
rest of the code is there. And I
Okay.
made a drop script, by the way.
Okay.
yeah, the problem, Lemon, is that we would spend a long time without calling the end drawing. Is that a problem? I think it is.
Man, I don't think it makes sense to ask the question. Is there a time window that is too much to be hanging on a function call until we call the end drawing? I don't think that makes sense with Raylib.
I think it does actually, because we have the set target FPS up there, right?
Yes.
How does Raylib know how long it takes for you to draw a frame?
How does Raylib know how long it take to draw a frame? It doesn't know, I think.
The only way for it to know is if it starts counting when you call begin drawing and finishes counting when you call end drawing. But we're not calling end drawing if we go into an inner loop.
Wait, I think maybe there's some ambiguity going on. Do you agree that this is a loop, right? This thing that we are doing here. There's a loop here, right?
But it's not an infinite loop, is the
But
thing.
I'm not proposing to have an infinite loop. I'm proposing to have a loop that will only stop when you when you finish creating the character.
That's effectively an infinite loop from the perspective of the outer loop.
But I could say the same about this, man. What if you have 10,000 characters?
Oh, actually, that's a good point. That should only draw the three characters that are currently on the screen instead of all of them.
Oh, now I see. So actually, this is also we're also gonna have to update this to only be like by chunks, right?
Yes.
I see. I see. Okay, let's do the following though. I want to read what Magetta did. So let's just do
Still
the
writing the text, but the code is there of two items. That's the description I made.
sure. So game state. So for now, let's actually say game state scene equals nothing. if you click on it. Why not? Uh, local variable is never mutated. Sure. Error is ignored. Oh, it's because this can blow up. So let's do a try here. So this should be. Oh, this is not gonna work because I need to comment the mocked data. So I need to, yeah, this. I need to do this. So by. Oh, we actually have this case, man. If the thing returns empty to us. So actually, this if doesn't make sense then. We're just gonna remove it. There. And then down here, we're gonna print this, and we're gonna say done, done, and then we can just say do that. Um, that should work just fine. Then we're gonna grab this thing and say that you are empty. Is this how you do it?
Um, Erlang characters empty. No, it's just dot empty, I think.
I also think it's not empty though. You're right.
Because that's a tag that has a void payload. So you actually don't need to.
There it is.
There we go.
Wait, why it's
We're
not?
stuck.
It yeah, I think the yeah, I think the ah force quit. No. Okay, let's ask which one is asking for more memory. Where is Lyceum? Lyceum client. Bye. Bye. Okay, so something is very wrong. What are we doing wrong, bud? What are we doing wrong? Let's go up. What is wrong in here?
What is wrong in here? You got the button.
Actually, I don't think the problem is here because it went to this scene. It did the drawing of this.
You did the drawing, yes.
So something is very wrong. What do we do? Yeah, when we go to nothing, we actually just call the main menu again. So how is this failing?
Empty character theme.
Oh, I
Um,
know what's failing. I know what's failing. This is the same thing that we had with the problem before. It's exactly the same issue. Character creation. I don't know. Actually, this is not really creation. It's like
selection, actually,
it
right?
is selection, but it's not really selection. That's the problem. Because here's the thing: that if that we did up here, we would use the else. We would, if we could go here in the case of an empty, but that's not possible. And the reason is because we are doing a pattern matching on the empty case from the caller side, you know?
Ah, I see.
So if you have an OK, that means that we have data in there. We have characters. In the case of an empty, that already means that we have nothing. You see the issue?
Yeah,
So I'm kind of wondering, should we not do that then? Should Erlang always give us an OK?
with a potentially empty list. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, so let's change our data. This now is only going to be this. And then there is no way to have this thing. And then we can go back to the else now. Then it makes sense to have an else. And then we don't need to do that because we just do try empty game. No, empty what? Enter character scene. Character scene. And then we pass the game state forward. We pass the game state forward. And that should be it. Right. This is our oh this needs then to be this, right, Marinho?
Uh,
Oh, actually, okay, this.
I don't think you need, well, you might not need the dots, but yeah. I mean, that's, oh no, you do, because this is a slice, right?
Yeah. Cool.
We need to take the address of that, actually. Like put an ampersand in front
I
of
have
the
another question. Let's suppose that this is empty. What will this loop do? Nothing, right? But this will be
nothing.
something. And is this return an option? Does this return an optional?
I think it just returns a slice.
So we are screwed because that if is checking if it's optional, like not null or null, right?
Yes, it's not an if anymore.
So we could do an if here, right? And ask a question about the items. Agree on that?
We could, but let me think for a moment. We have the characters. We populate the array list. But then there may not have been any characters.
Yeah.
We're going to make a different scene for the case where we have no characters.
No. Well, yes, but not really, because the different scene is just calling this inside an already existent scene.
Oh, in that case, I don't think we need to do anything here.
No, we do, because that was my question, and maybe I misunderstood. This is the thing that we're gonna put inside the character list, right? This thing. But this thing is gonna be empty because this for will not do anything. Agree on that?
Yes.
So, but that's the problem. The if that we are doing up there, it's checking for nullability, right?
Yes.
So how can we maintain the if up there uh, in here, right? So how can we, because something that we could do is to just change the if, right? And just ask if the slice is empty instead of doing it with the optional thing, right?
Yes.
So what is the best approach in Zig terms? Is it preferable to check if this is empty, or is it preferable to check if the optional is null?
Uh, it's probably preferable to check if it's empty because the no check would just be redundant and it
Wait,
doesn't
what's
cover the
happening right
case.
now? I'm not following.
I can explain. So, sorry to interrupt you, Marin, but here's the situation, Zio. We have an array. We have an array of characters, right? And in
Hmm.
Zig, you can have default values when you are instantiating a struct. Instead of having to put everything in the constructor, you can have default values. So in the case of
Okay.
characters, we decided in the beginning to make this optional with this question mark. That means that it can be this or null, which essentially works like a maybe. But here's the
Oh,
situation.
it is a maybe,
Yeah,
actually, just by another name.
yeah, and what does that mean? That means that when I'm creating this, right? When I'm creating this, because this function init is returning the game state, which is all of these fields. This is all what is inside the game state. If I put an equal and then a default value, I don't need to put anything when constructing the thing, which is very convenient. But here's
You
the
can still have the default value if you make the default empty
yeah, no, I could do a
because
dot curly braces, right?
yeah, and
Yeah. No, but that's beside the points of the confusion. So let me go down here now and explain the problem. So here's the
What
situation.
happens if you try to add more fields?
Then,
You
if you want to add, I don't know, field whatever, and let's say that this is just I don't know, you wait. And if you just do like this, the compiler will tell you, but in here you are missing a field. But if I do this,
Do do whatever makes making mistakes harder.
yes, yes. So for us, that
Adding a
means
field.
having usually putting default values that make sense. So in the case of the allocator, for instance, we already put this allocator as the default one. You can override it if you want when you're constructing this, but if you don't override, it's going to use the default value. So now going back to the problem. The problem is the following. This if here is checking if the character list is null or not. And if it's not null, you're gonna bind the contents of the just, or so again using the maybe analogy, to this label here, and then you can use it in this scope, which is what we did. That means that the else of this if is gonna be when the thing is null. So far so good?
Okay, so if the upstream producer gives you a character which is like all it's like an not uninstantiated um an
Arbitrarily sized.
unbaptized object, right? Like a kind of like something that hasn't really, whatever. It's like a very nascent character. Let's say it just hands you a very nascent character. Is that okay in this case?
I don't know what you mean by nascent. Could you elaborate?
Oh, I think he means uninitialized, which
Oh,
Like yeah, on it because I wasn't sure because I'm not sure like what the difference between like I know that there's null and then there's also undefined, and like I think in Zig the null would be like, oh, zero it out explicitly, and then undefined is just like,
oh,
oh,
only
just
Marin knows
yeah,
that.
it's undefined behavior,
no, that's not how it works.
or how does that work?
Okay, so basically, the only way you can have a null value if you use a nullable or optional type, I guess I should say, right? Because then you say, okay, this type is optional, so it can be any of the values that the type could normally be plus null.
Yeah, so in this case,
Then you
in our
say,
case, is
But
this.
isn't that initial thing that you wrote down here like this question mark array const messages dot character? I mean that's this, right? Like isn't this very similar? Isn't this the same as? Is it like I
Yeah,
don't know.
let's listen now
yeah,
to the
that's
undefined. Go on, Marin.
yeah, that's basically it. If you get rid of the question mark, that's removing the maybe,
Yeah,
which means you can basically say, okay, this is actually a slice of characters,
yeah,
which can be empty, but it can never be null because null is not part of this type.
yeah.
Where undefined comes in is because Zig is a low-level language, right? Which means you have to care about how things are initialized. I mean, you can care about it, but the language doesn't force you to care about it because the abstractions that the language provides you don't actually force you to care about that in the same way you would need to with C, for instance. But sometimes you actually do want to initialize things in a way that doesn't play nicely with the with the language's built-in abstractions. So like maybe you say, okay, I want to allocate space for this value, and then I'm going to call a special, I'm going to call a function that takes a pointer to that location and fills it in with some data, right? That's something that you can do occasionally in C.
Yes.
Support that use case without having to zero out the memory because that would be just a waste of time, right? Because you're going to initialize it anyways. You can say um, var and then the name and then say equals undefined
Yeah. So
to
basically
base
this.
this is not initialized and I'm explicitly acknowledging that this shouldn't be initialized here.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I hope that helped. So again, going a little bit to the problem now, the problem that we are discussing. Here's the situation. Here's the dilemma. If we make the character list optional, That means that we're gonna have to check if it's null here, and if it's not, we're gonna do this, and if it is null, we're gonna do this. But in the previous scene that will launch that one, which is down here, the join game scene, we will be doing? We will be asking for Erlang, give me the data, give me all the characters from this user, right? We have to merge that branch because this is already ready. The Magenta did it. And then let's suppose that you have characters, right? So what are the possible values of this array? It can be an empty array, or it can be an array with characters. If it's an array with characters, that's fine because we're basically gonna well here we are mocking the assets, right? So everybody's gonna be a teapot, and then we are creating a mutable array list, and then we are fulfilling. We are putting the teapot pointer, well, the texture of the teapot to all of the characters. And in the future, we're gonna have to do something a little bit differently when we receive the equipment data from the server. And the dilemma is, what happens if this is empty? Because this is a possible scenario. That means that this for will never run. Because I'm assuming
And
that,
it will, but it's not gonna step through anything
yeah,
because,
so I'm
well,
assuming
you're
that it will
stepping.
check this and say, oh, this is empty, so I'm skipping it.
Yes.
And then, but look at what we are doing. We are saying that the characters list is equal to characters. Characters is not an optional. This is not null when you do this. This line is not null. That means that if the thing is empty, this is going to be the thing that we're going to put into the character list that we are using up there. And then the if will
Uh,
fail, right? Because this is empty, that means that we should go to the else branch. But because of this guy not being a null, we will not go to the else branch. So then we have two options. If we want to maintain the null, we're going to have to do something down here. We're going to have to do something about this special behavior here. If we
let's
remove the null, which is what Marinho suggested, we will check, instead of nullability, we will check if the array is empty in here. This is the same kind of scenario in Haskell if you have a list and then you ask yourself, is it better to check if a list is empty, or is it better to use a maybe with a list inside? And you know for a fact that if it's inside a maybe and it's a just, the list is definitely not empty.
Well, at that point, it shouldn't even be a list. It should be that,
So
what is that
that
weird
that
type
still
that people
doesn't
some
eliminate. You'd still have to check twice, basically.
yes.
Yes, but I think what, and then I asked Marin, what would what a Zig developer would do? And the answer is remove the null and then just put an empty thing here.
Yeah, I need to take a reference of that empty thing because it's a
Yeah,
slice, not an
yeah.
array.
I keep forgetting. That means that now this check is wrong, right?
Yes.
So now how can I check is this length? I don't think so, right?
Well, yes, that's the length of the slice.
And then instead of characters, we're gonna do the game state character list, right? And if that's okay, we're gonna, oh, that's
The
actually
condition is
is
the
wrong.
condition is backwards. Yeah.
Um, and then we don't have to do anything down here, right?
Right.
Including this if.
Including the zip. Yes.
Okay, so it should compile now, and it should work. More importantly, so there. It's logging forever. That's expected, and the button works. That's funny. There are no characters for this user, bruh. Okay, so now let's format this. Do we have? Yes. Thank you, Pest Lemos. Uh, so finish draft of character selection, and then I'm gonna fetch Mageta's branch, and then I'm gonna check out the new. Let's see. Is it this file?
Actually, I committed the other one.
Where is the other one?
I don't know why it's not showing. But
Did
I only
I
recommend
already had the branch before?
B.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's no stuff.
Okay. So let's see what the wizard Mageta did.
We'll rename and reorganize this, but basically
Oh, you
run the
removed the
down.
the quotes.
I did, yes.
Not the quotes, the double quotes.
Yeah, the
That's
double quotes.
awesome. Did you fix the server?
I just kept double quotes in one, by the way, but fix the server. No, I didn't fix the Erlang code.
Yeah, we need to remove the double
Go
quotes from
down.
there.
There's just one. Search for I don't know. What's the
Item.
name? Go down. Go down. Yeah. So this is the inventory. Blah blah. It's
Wow.
just checking.
We need to go over this. I don't know I'm not this expert in SQL.
It's just garbage. There. I just kept on that equipped because of the question mark, but that's it.
Oh, okay. Here.
Yeah,
Equipped.
maybe I should put ease equipped, right?
Yeah,
But
ease equipped is enough.
put it like that.
Okay, but let's go over what we have here. So we have the same user, same map, same character, same stats, same position. Now we have the fun stuff. So this is the updatable view, right?
Yes.
That means that okay, I forgot about that. We also need to do the join with the position.
Yeah.
That's true. And this is how we're gonna do the insertion on the updatable view. What is this dollar doing, by the way?
It's just delimiting the scope for PLPG SQL.
Oh, it starts here.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? So we are basically doing. Oh, that's very straightforward. If you want to do an insert on the view, you're gonna do this batch of inserts.
Yep.
Okay,
That's it.
that's 100%
So,
fine. So then
yeah.
we have the create table with the
I
item.
don't know what to do. So this is I separated between items and equipables, right? So I didn't know what to do with the consumables. Because I don't think all items should be consumables. Like you could have like key items, right? For example.
Yeah, not all. Man, that just got me. That just remind me. Are we gonna have pets?
That's kind of garbage, right? But we could.
I don't know, man. In some games, pets are awesome. Like they actually improve the game.
Oh man, that's a
For instance,
hard thing to say.
I played a game in which my pet allowed me to fly. That was
I mean,
very convenient. That was very
that's-
convenient.
That's just a very fancy set of wings. That's not really. That doesn't really require a pet.
Yeah, I could make an item, right? Like the Morrowind scroll. Like, have you seen that?
No.
Guess you guys didn't play Morrowind, but you start the game and then you go walking a path, and then you see a wizard falling from the sky, and then he dies, and he just screams, ah, and then he dies. And then you go read his like he has a parchment, like a scroll thingy, and then you go read it, and then you learn a spell that if you use it, you basically fly to the moon, and then you fall back and you die. So that's why, you see.
No, I actually, yeah, no, I completely see your point, but I kind of, I was mistaken. My pet, I had many pets in that game, but I didn't have anyone to fly. I had one to like walk faster, like even faster than running, and also one that helps me under the water, in battles and stuff like that. Yeah, no, but that was just like a thought because I thought, what would be an item that is not a weapon and not a consumable? A pet. So
Yeah, like a key.
a
That's
key as
something.
well. A key to
A map.
enter something. A
You
map as
like
well.
the things that you don't consume, right? Or descriptive items, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then we have the character inventory, which is this the
Just
name of the
holding.
character?
Yeah, it's the name of the character. It's just a character with the item joined
Oh
together.
no, this is the foreign keys.
Yeah.
And then you have the quantity and the item name.
Yeah, and
The
that's it.
item name.
which is the table up above.
Oh, no. I forgot. Okay, so this makes sense. So each one of the rows is an item in this
In
specific
your
character's
inventory.
inventory.
Exactly. I didn't know what to do yet with the effects, but that's why I didn't model that much, like the inventory. I just left it like
Equipment
that.
kind, so you have head, top, bottom, feet, arms, and finger.
So
Man,
that's like rings, arms, like gauntlets, or
Marinho?
weapons.
equal
Boots.
sucks. You have to write not new
Look at
everywhere.
that! Look at that
Yes, it
phrase.
does.
What was your
Uh,
your critique?
You have to write not new everywhere.
you
Why
do.
isn't that just the default?
Guess why? Guess why?
Human stupidity.
Guess why? Uh, okay,
Okay.
and then here's the thing, right? So I was thinking of how to distinguish between gauntlets that go on your arms from actually swords and shields that go in a specific arm. You see?
Wow, that's deep.
So, well, maybe the design is kind of trashy, but I try to differentiate the kind of the thing from the usage of the thing. So, a gauntlet goes in the arms generically, but a sword also goes in the arm, right? But it goes in actually a right or left arm.
What if
Mhm.
it's a two-handed sword?
Well, then it can go in arms only. Or
What if you
actually,
want
if
to?
it's a two-handed sword, you can have two entries with left and right of the same sword.
But that sounds kind of wrong, though. That's not how Dark
What if,
Souls does it.
what if you want to dual wield?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No.
You're not duplicating the sword, it's just
No, no, no.
on the
Okay, that's
duplicated
the
entry.
two-handed case. Two-handed is not dual wielding. What if you actually have two swords and you want to use both of them?
Well, then you have two different swords, not the same sword in
Yeah.
two different respects.
Like visually, it's gonna be kind of trashy, Marinho, because if you're using a two-handed weapon, it's gonna duplicate the visualization for you, but it's not dual wielded. But if you want dual
No,
wielded,
no, no, man. No. Here's the what I think the distinction here you guys didn't see is one thing is to have two entries on the equipment, and another thing is to have one entry duplicated on the connection with the equipped items.
no, yes, I agree with that. But that doesn't. Don't you agree that's in a kind of implementation detail?
It is, but I think it will make it clear when you guys read the other tables. But go to the
Okay, so we have
equipment.
equipment, which has the kind, which is expected. Shouldn't we have a use here?
Yeah. So the use is detailed by maybe because each some item will have its own specific boundaries of usage, right? So
Yeah.
maybe like you can't use a gauntlet as a weapon, like that doesn't make sense. So maybe I should put something like that.
Okay, but then
But
let's
okay,
look at this. This is also a view, I assume, or not? No, this is
no, this is
a
a function.
function. Okay,
Yeah, this is just
what's up with the function in SQL?
it's just an auxiliary function that runs a routine basically. It doesn't produce a side effect. It's just in Postgres there's no difference between procedures and functions as far as I
Yes.
know.
Okay.
In SQL Server functions they are pure and procedures they are mutable. They
Yeah.
mutate stuff around. So I just pick the use and the kind and I see if they're compatible. Like if I
Oh,
try
so
to
this is
use
basically like a constraint checking of sorts.
yes, I'm using it down below if you scroll down.
Ah.
So I'm checking with that, I'm checking if the use that you're giving to this specific equipment is compatible with the kind of equipment it is. So you
Mhm.
don't use a gauntlet as
And
a
I guess you could
but
put this in line in here,
yeah,
but
but
it would be very
let
trash.
I let something escape now that I'm talking about this because like gauntlets they go in the arms, right? But they shouldn't be used as weapons. In this check, it allows you to do that. So
It
I
allows you
kind
to
of
do that.
probably yeah, I'll probably need to redesign this, but
Hey, you can put on a gauntlet and punch someone,
Yeah,
I
that's what
guess.
I thought.
well, yeah, that yeah, you could, I guess. And it would hurt, right? So it makes sense.
It will probably hurt both of you, both
Both,
the
yes.
player and the enemy.
So anyway, I just put a bool to say it's if it's equipped, then the name of the equipment, the usage you're trying to give to it, and the kind, and that's it. Now
Mm-hmm.
go to the other table. Oh, okay. Down below, and just add in the trigger for the updatable view, and that's it.
Wait a moment. So this trigger is saying,
Instead of inserting on the view, go through this function for each row that you inserted.
wait,
And the
instead
function
of
then
the
inserts
view,
on the.
go to the function.
Yeah, instead of trying to insert on the view, go to the execute this function for
Oh,
each
okay,
row,
okay,
and then
okay,
it
okay.
will insert on the correct tables. You
Okay, so
see?
if you don't do this, SQL will allow you to just do this, like potentially breaking stuff instead of following this.
Uh, Actually, it doesn't allow you to update to write on the view directly on Postgres in this case.
Ah.
Others they do, but Postgres
Wait,
I
but
don't
if it
think it
doesn't
does.
allow you to do it that directly, why do you need to add the trigger?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, but
Oh.
you need to do it. That's why this
Noise,
language is crappy.
basically.
Go to the input. Now this is the thing. So I have my user. You can add another,
Sure.
and then there are two maps: Castle Hall and Castle Yard. There is one character called Hunerik that belongs to me. Then the stats of Hunerik, you can see he's kind of okay on everything, I suppose. Um, the position that we were with Hunerik, like he was on the
Yeah, this is
castle
the
hall on that
coordinates. Yeah.
position. Yeah. And then equipment, and then I added the Vandal's Prima, a rugged sword of unknown origin, favored by the wild tribes of the West.
This is
Its
very
hilt is
Magenta.
adorned with the crude carving depicting dragon's defeat by a golden warrior. It is said to be a symbol of the tribe's turbulent beginnings. Blood River's Gauntlet, fashioned from crude iron in the crucible of the barbarian rites. This gauntlet bears primal insignias and the echoes of the ancient
Man, this is
battles.
very Dark Souls feelings,
It
man.
is said that those who do this, those who
Dawn is gauntlet.
don this gauntlet unleash the untamed fury
Of
of
Ancestral
ancestral
Warriors.
warriors. Their strikes echoing the relentless tide of bloodshed from when the barbarians were feared by the Jonians.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this is
Who
very
are the
Dark Souls.
Jonians?
well, you don't know yet. Do you know yet? I don't. Anyway, so I'm writing, by the way, the intro, so
Sure.
I'll post in a sec.
Okay, and then you have the other insert. I'm missing. Oh, the down is the drops. Yeah, the
Yeah,
down is the drop.
it's just a
Okay.
cascade drop on the schema. That's it.
Okay, I think that it's kind of like. Uh, well, for now we can use this user and this character and
You
stuff
can
like
make
that.
a new character for the user. Or you can make a new user, whatever you
No,
want.
yeah, but that's too much work, man. You did all of this already.
Actually, an AI did all of it, and then I just replaced the equipment lore, and that's it.
Okay, so here's the question. Marinho, do you think we should merge this now to get this on master and then we can use this? Because now this is already on Postgres. That means that we can remove the mock on the Erlang characters thing. And we can just use this. Or should we wait for
Uh,
Magenta to finish the introduction, the intro, and then we merge it?
I mean, Mageta's the one working on it. He should decide.
Okay, so
Oh, you guys can merge.
sure.
I'm not sure if I will have something presentable to put on the thing.
Yeah, but
I'll
I think
probably
we
read
should.
what I'm typing and say, "Oh, this is all garbage," and then I'll.
Yeah, so it's already 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna finish the recording.